So today we're going to be talking about sick leave and its implications on work and family issues. A brief history of sick leave. Paid leave was the most prevalent employee benefit provided by employers in private industry throughout the United States in 2012. Sick leave was developed for employees' personal or family members' medical needs. This policy allows workers to take time off from their jobs to care for themselves or their family members. Because of serious health conditions that makes employees unable to perform the functions of his or her job, this policy aims to cover employees who have the right to leave for the care and treatment of themselves or a family member. For some demographics, the chart on the left illustrates that 61% of all workers receive sick leave. Asian and white non-Hispanic workers are more likely to receive this benefit. The chart on the right illustrates that the private sector is less likely to receive paid sick leave benefits when compared to the public sector. Also, the more employees present in a company, the more likely the company will offer this benefit. So for some more demographics, this chart shows the employees who work longer hours are the ones most likely to receive paid sick leave. This means that part-time workers are less likely than full-time workers to receive this benefit. The general sick leave policy by the California government law states that any employee who works in California for 30 days or more is entitled to receive paid sick leave. An employer is required to provide a minimum of 3 days or 24 hours of sick leave per year, and an employee may begin to take sick leave after 90 days of employment. Paid sick leave may accrue at a rate of 1 hour for every 30 hours worked and must be reflected on each wage statement. Alternatively, an employer may use its own PTO or sick leave policy if it accrues at the same or faster rate than the state-mandated accrual. The state's new sick leave law went into effect on January 1, 2015, but the right to begin accruing and taking sick leave under this law didn't go into effect until July 1, 2015. Jennifer A. Grady, Esquire, is an employment lawyer who is a partner attorney to the California Employers Association, or the CEA, and contributes to the Council's Corner of their California Employers Report. In California, we are entitled to be provided with a minimum of 3 days or 24 hours of sick leave per year. So for the sick leave policy standpoints, the first one, we're going to go with the conservative standpoint. This one states that the business community is fighting against the proliferation of these laws, saying that the landscape for paid leave regulation is getting way too complex. Each state has created their own ordinances for sick leave, ranging from 3 to 7 days. Preemption is supposed to alleviate employers. According to Merriam-Webster, preemption is a doctrine in a law according to which federal law supersedes state law when federal law is in conflict with a state law. This means that within the conservative standpoint on sick leave, preemptions are proposed in order to provide for employers that will allow them to only provide for the sick leave they voluntarily offer. Now for the liberal standpoint. Democrats propose more sweeping legislation such as the Family Act, which would create a brand new massive government paid leave entitlement program. Workers need to be able to take time off without being penalized. Based on the information provided by the staff handbook and general sick leave laws, the political affiliation is from a liberal standpoint. Laws are showing concern and focus on the employee through state laws. Liberal standpoints typically focus on implementing government to keep regulations instead of the businesses or the free market taking charge of employment laws, which is from a conservative standpoint. Now for the analysis. The intent of sick time is to serve as a protection against loss of income due to an illness or non-work related injury. Sick time can include medical appointments, and sometimes, depending on a person's employer, they can use their sick time to take care of their dependents. However, not everyone has this advantage. In fact, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, 43 million Americans who work for a private sector do not receive sick pay. According to the graph, only 61% of working Americans have access to sick leave. Although the graph shows an 11% increase from the early 1990s, the real problem is in the next slide. This graph shows that the more upscale a job is, the more likely a worker will be getting paid sick leave. However, jobs at the lower end of the economic ladder must sacrifice their income if they happen to become ill on a workday. These lower economic jobs often include service workers who see and interact with the public every day. If they are unable to take time off due to not being able to afford a missing paycheck, then this exposes everyone around them to their illness. As we have seen throughout the reading in this course, women are more likely to stay home and take care of children when they work because of the issue that men get paid more than women. For example, 53% of working mothers do not have paid sick leave compared to the 48% of working fathers. Therefore, when a child gets sick, the deciding factor of who takes care of the child depends on who makes more money in one day. Therefore, a paid sick day standard for everyone would not only decrease gender roles, but children are more likely to recover faster when a parent is the one taking care of them. A paid sick day standard would also be able to decrease disparities for workers in color. Hispanic employees are less likely to have paid sick leave than white, Asian, and black workers. The Institute for Women's Policy Research estimates that more than 4 in 10 African American workers, which is about 44%, and nearly 6 in 10 Latino workers, about 58%, lack sick days. Since these numbers are at much higher rates than white workers, it creates an even stronger racial divide and creates an economic divide as well, allowing for whites to continue to increase in the economic ladder while minorities are struggling with a decrease or showing up ill. Obstacles of implementation. Employer challenges with implementation. Employers struggle with the new costs. They have to provide sick leave to employees and consult with lawyers and employment advisors to ensure compliance. Sick leave to part-time and temporary workers. There's no law on how to calculate sick leave days for people paid by salary or commission. Cross-jurisdiction employees. One example of that would be construction industry. Workers working in different states throughout the year, they can't use sick leave until 90 days of employment, and each state has its own sick leave laws. Therefore, determining the total sick time would be difficult. Some possible solutions would be front-loading, which would be placing the maximum amount of hours of sick time accruable under any existing state law into workers' account and making it available for use 90 days into employment. Another solution would be creating multi-jurisdiction policies. So in conclusion, although you may have thought something as important as sick leave would be a given right for everyone, it has unfortunately become a privilege to have in the workforce in most cases. There are several obstacles and different viewpoints to this policy, as you have all heard about in this presentation. We hope to have provided you with new information and want to thank you for taking the time to watch our presentation. This slide is just a list of the references we use in our PowerPoint, and hope that you take the time to visit them if you found any of the information particularly interesting. Thank you.